Good morning and welcome to the Black Mesa Transit System. This automated train is provided for the security and convenience of the Black Mesa Research Facility personnel.
Have you ever played an old game that feels too good for its age? I'm not saying that age is indicative of quality, but more that I tend to expect certain things when playing games from older generations. I of course expect the graphics to be reflective of that time period. I also expect stuff like overall UI or quality of life features to be absent due to other games innovating them later on. Maybe the story will have some awkward cutscenes or weird gameplay sections that don't blend well with the narrative. I'm just listing these things to say that when I booted up Half-Life, I already knew it was legendary. I had friends tell me of it, I've seen countless memes, I've seen comments on every single E3 stream begging for Half-Life 3 to be shown. Even with Half-Life drenched in greatness, I was still expecting some age and rush from a 1998 first-person shooter game. But playing Half-Life for the first time in 2025 was truly an amazing experience. I'm here today to talk about why I was so impressed with a nearly 30-year-old game. I'm Alec with It Takes Guts, and I want you to join me as I explain why playing Half-Life 1 feels too good for its age.
Clearance system. You must report to Black Mesa personnel.
Now, if you're like me and somehow haven't played or watched any YouTube essays about Half-Life, first, please go play the game. What are you doing? It's like $10 and the Steam sales drop it to like $1. You can run it on a literal potato. I cannot recommend a blind playthrough enough. Now, with that aside, I'm going to spoil some Half-Life 1 story. So, you play as theoretical physicist Gordon Freeman. Now, this guy is an absolute Chad, truly a gaming icon at this point. But in this game, he's just a guy late to work at the Black Mesa facility. You are told to help with some experiment, and when you do, shit hits the fan. You start seeing aliens teleport in and the facility is in total chaos. Your goal is to escape and tell the world what happened. So, you blast some aliens, do some puzzles, until you finally run into some new human help with the military. Then boom, these guys are not our friends. It's now a battle against the humans and aliens as you try to escape. After all this fighting, you learn from the fellow scientists that they've been cooking up some teleportation technology and that they need you to go kill some alien overlord, preventing them from closing the gate that keeps the aliens from coming in. So, you flex your crowbar and help the scientists teleport you to this alien world called Zen. Now, you've seen this world once when you first did the failed experiment in the beginning of the game. I just think that's so cool since I was almost waiting to go here again when I first saw it. Anyway, you fly around on Zen killing some aliens until you run into some super head crab and then you kill it. You find some alien lab of soldiers and you get out of that mess. Then you finally run into the final alien teleporter that takes you to the final boss, the Nihilith. This guy is some giant floating dude who teleports you to some unfriendly locations as you float around trying to kill it. And when you finally kill it, you don't go back to Earth and like celebrate with the scientists that the alien threat's been exterminated.
My God, what are you doing?
No, none of that. You instead get greeted by this businessman looking fellow
Gordon Freeman in the flesh.
who maybe you saw lurking around when you were playing the game. His voice is just...
The border world, Zen, is in our control for the time being, thanks to you. Quite a nasty piece of work you managed over there. I am impressed.
perfect. It's odd, it's similar, it's just the weirdest human dialogue I've ever heard. He sums up this whole experience as just a mission, and that you did a great job. His employers like you, and you can start to work with them now. He offers you some Matrix-like decision with a cold reminder that you aren't really in control.
You've proved yourself a decisive man, so I don't expect you'll have any trouble deciding what to do. If you're interested, just step into the portal, and I will take that as a yes. Otherwise, well, I can offer you a battle you have no chance of winning.
He says the ending will be pretty anticlimactic if you're just to die now, and you know, he's right. But either choice ends your time playing with Morgan Freeman in Half-Life 1.
Wisely done, Mr. Freeman. I will see you up ahead.
Now, I am not here to gush over the insane narrative constructed throughout Half-Life, but for a moment, I just have to. I think it's thought-provoking and well-deserving of its sequel and expanded lore with the DLCs. The G-Man as a character is so unique, and in general, Half-Life's story really feels like a sci-fi universe that is well worth your time digging into all the potential links and meanings of it. What I really want to talk about though is the way the story is told to us. We don't get cutscenes of exposition, there isn't a bunch of Resident Evil notes laid throughout the game to explain the key details. The story is instead happening to you at all times. The gameplay is the story. You don't get explained that aliens are coming, but you do get teleported to their world and shown that there are beings non-human out there. You don't get told the military is bad, but you get shown a scientist running to them for help only to be met with bullets.
Rescued at last. Thank God you're here.
You might wonder why there are live aliens in the test chambers that didn't get teleported into the facility. You might be keen enough to notice that the aliens in the lab on Zen aren't fighting back at you if you aren't hostile to them. It's all this environmental storytelling that made me feel like I was living in the game. It felt similar to Dark Souls, where I had to really look at the setting and the enemies to piece together what happened here. Half-Life's story is so much show don't tell that I was invested in everything because I was rewarded for my observation of it. I probably missed some moments where the game was trying to tell me something and I just died because of it. I think so many modern games could learn from Half-Life 1's story and how to reward players for paying attention outside of text boxes and dialogue. The best thing to me about Half-Life's story is how the gameplay is incorporated into it. For a first-person shooter in 1998, you do a lot of different things as Gordon Freeman. To start, the gunplay is great and always stimulating. I love the arsenal you get to play with, and I really did not expect how big it would actually get. The game is also pretty hard. I probably died about 100 times to the enemies in this game, and 100 more to all my platforming mistakes. It made me feel like I had to get good at what gun to use in each combat scenario. I was always scraping by fights looking for medkits or stations and spare ammo to gather. I know the game is easy to those that play this yearly, but for my first blind playthrough, I really died. The puzzles in this game are also satisfying and never really fed to you. I love how they set up basic situations like go here and do this, but by not explaining or directing you, it felt like the puzzle directions itself were a part of the puzzle, and the satisfaction I got from solving them always increased for me. I also think the platforming was just awesome with the speed that you could generate. It really felt like you have a lot of control, and each mistake was due to my over or underestimating the distance. I just think the combination of puzzles, shooting, exploration, and platforming really made for a great gameplay experience. I was never bored because I never felt like I was doing the same thing for too long. The progression of getting guns along the way also made it feel good to make it to the next chapter. Discovering new ways to interact with the environment makes for the combat scenarios to feel like you really could play how you want. The simplest way I can describe Half-Life's gameplay is fun. It was honestly just fun to zoom around and shoot and figure a way to progress. I was smiling at so many interactions because I felt respected as a player for doing what was or wasn't the right thing. The game talked back, and it was always show over tell, and that to me made things more memorable and personal. I felt rewarded for being observant of enemies in the environment because I felt like I was actually discovering how to kill them better. I wasn't being shown what each weapon did in some tutorial screen. I had to actually go out in the wild and shoot something to see it. The way the gameplay weaves in telling you more about the world and the narrative is also just genius. Like having headcrabs in the test chambers be found to show you that the lab and the scientists have been working with these aliens well before you was an awesome reveal. And then they attack you, and now I'm playing the moment after personally getting time to observe and be curious. Look at how the game now informs me that there's a new spy enemy after me.
I've got a message for you. Make sure you don't...
In other games, I could see this being a cutscene or some long exposition by a previous character, but in Half-Life, no. I get to watch my buddy die live, and I'm never separated from the moment where now I have to be on watch for something new. I also think the way the aliens are randomly teleporting in the beginning, but then feel like they're flanking you by the end of the game is incredible. It's a story reason due to the aliens seeing you as a threat now and sending enemies to fight you specifically instead of just being sucked into our world at random, but then it also makes the difficulty harder as you progress through the game because now you're getting coordinated attacks against you. I feel like I don't see story and gameplay woven like this in modern games releasing today. It's not like it never happens, but you really gotta search it. I was truly blown away by how fun the game was to play, but the way the environmental storytelling never took me out of the game just made it for something truly memorable. Now, I love music and tone in my games because to me it helps everything in a game come to life. I think about how Minecraft feels when I finally hear the music creep up on me. The right music and tone accompanying a game elevates the experience, and Half-Life surprised me there as well. I thought it was a first-person shooter similar to how Halo was in the way you're fighting aliens. Instead, it felt like a run and gun mixed with survival horror and platforming puzzles. With those different gameplay sections, you also get these awesome tracks playing with you, or you just hear the sound of your footsteps and the enemies plotting. You can hear the military talk about Freeman, and it gives you this lone wolf sense with the world against you.
So, who's this guy, Freeman? He was at Ground Zero. Science team? You think he was responsible? Sabotage, maybe? Maybe. All I know for sure is he's been killing my buddies. Oh yeah, he'll pay. He will definitely pay.
The scientists around the game, though repeating the same voice lines and animations, always made me feel like I found a friend for a moment. I also love how the game has a complex setting and narrative, but it also has moments of humor that stick out and lighten the panicked mood. The whole intro showcases this by all the funny things you can do to get reactions from your coworkers.
My God, what are you doing?
It all feels so organic in a time period that really to me doesn't feel like it has any reason to be this attentive. I mean, I can turn on the hand dryer. Why can I do that? I don't really know. There's no real gameplay tied to it, but Valve thought I might try to turn it on and decided that I need to be rewarded for my dumb curiosity. I really couldn't stop thinking, wow, these guys at Valve really thought to do this in 1998? Because I couldn't stop believing how fun the game was to play all the time. It truly felt well ahead of its time. I felt like the game wanted me to try and figure out everything. Half-Life felt like it was talking back and respecting my curiosity to the point that I was just excited to see what was next. Good games are refreshing to play. It really is that simple. It's why games like Balatro and Schedule 1 have blown up. The gameplay alone is attractive enough and engaging enough that people just flock to play something that will treat their time with respect. Half-Life felt too good for its age because it felt beyond just a great concept and gameplay loop. It really felt like Valve cared about my curiosity and time spent in their virtual world. After beating Half-Life, I immediately bought and played Half-Life 2 and its 2 DLCs because I was now a certified fan of the series over 25 years after its creation. I wasn't playing some old game that new titles grab from when needing ideas. I played a game that should define how developers think about their own game creation. Half-Life was well worth your time back in 1998, and I bet in 20 years someone will play it for the first time just like me and make a video saying the exact same thing. The quality doesn't fade away, and the care will never go unnoticed to those willing to engage with what was provided. Now I just have to wait for the next gaming presentation to be another Half-Life 3 spammer in the chat. If you're still watching this, I really appreciate your time. Like the video if you like the video, it helps us a lot here. Leave a comment down below about an old game that you played that really impressed you. I love to hear about it. It takes guts to subscribe, so make sure you get to it, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.